Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode I just want to go over a new project that I'm sort of working on, and just sort of tied in with all the stuff that I'm working on, and kind of bring you up to date on different things that are going on, right? So, again, thank you for getting me up to 2,000 subscriptions, and just keep it going, and hoping that there's a lot of new episodes that I want to really get into, especially rounding up the 1980 series of Miami lists. I'm really getting anxious to try to basically create a best of a really comprehensive best of 1980s list. Of course, any of you that are following the Miami lists, you already know and kind of figure out what the best are. But then, for all the newer people, I'm really anxious to really get a good ranking tier list that's really concise and really inclusive of all the different titles, and good analysis of that. So that's one of the big things I want to really anxious to get to, and also want to get back into more episodes about some of the things that I'm bringing up from archives. And of course, this episode is just one of the ones where I just following up with some of the things that I've pulled up from letters and receipts and that kind of stuff. It's really kind of cool to get some of that stuff and help me put some of the timeline back together again. So it's really good. But in this episode, my key thing that I wanted to introduce and just say that as sort of my aside is, I wanted to get to one of my midlife crisis things that I've always wanted to do, but just never really managed to get started. And only with my editing skills with Adobe Premiere and that kind of stuff, I've actually finally got to it. And that is, I wanted to start and do one of the things I always wanted to do, which was I wanted to learn how to play a song. Okay. As you can see from my set back here, I have peeled back my wall of anime things and revealed that I do have a full-fledged keyboard and a Roland D70, my old-fashioned Yamaha drum set here, using the old Yamaha DTX 2, which is the one I used for my guitar / Drummania set that I wired up and hooked up from my PlayStation 2 when playing that game, of course. And I have both a Stratocaster and a Yamaha the bass guitar that back there, and to basically do songs. So basically my the story behind it is basically this: like in a day and age where we it's really we send our kids off to just about do everything, learn piano and all, because I guess really difficult to find an Asian family that doesn't have kids that are enrolled in piano or something. I wasn't one of those. Okay, I never had the opportunity to learn a musical instrument, nor read learn how to play guitar or piano or anything in a band. I had the opportunity to join band in grade 7, but my parents thought first of all, A, couldn't afford the instrument, and B, thought that academic skills were more important than musical skills. So I never did end up learning that. So one of the things I wanted to do, when I hit sort of one of these pre-midlife crisis things, I sort of thought about before I kind of hit before I kind of hit 50, but now I'm past 50. I wanted to basically learn how to play and do. I selected 3 songs. I decided to limit my list down to 3, and it took me a while to figure out what 3 I should do. But I finally tiered it off and kind of had sort of links to all the different ones I wanted to do. And so I just wanted to tell you guys that I'm working on something like that, and if you had any support, that kind of stuff, that'd be really great, because I'm sort of working on it, and I'm really excited how certain things are sort of coming and putting together. So I have chosen 3 songs, okay? And I guess I tiered them sort of from easiest to hardest, okay? I guess they're all kind of hard for me, since I can't play piano. I can't play I guess I played drums from Drummania and Rocks and Rocksmith and from flip guitars and played like a Rock Band from so that's my drumming experience. Playing Guitar Mania is nothing like playing a real guitar. I mean, Rocksmith is the closest you're gonna get, right? But I have no that's probably my hardest instrument to learn. But what I plan to do is I want to play these 3 songs, and I want to do all parts of the song, okay? And learn how to do all the different parts of the song. And this, this is sort of what I had in my mind, and I always thought this was going to be some very big, difficult thing to do, because I said, I have to, basically learn everything from scratch on how to do this. And then as I'm slowly piecing the things together, I'm realizing it's not as hard as I thought, because because I have a lot of tools and that kind of stuff to help me along. So first of all, to relieve you from all of the suspense, what are the 3 songs? Okay, so the first song, which I think would probably be the easiest one, it's starting to turn out not to be, but it's I think it's going to be the easier one, is the song "Cruel Summer" from Bananarama. Now, again, if you see my pictures from when I was growing up when I first started my anime thing, my walls were all covered with 80s bands and that kind of stuff, and predominantly you will see a lot of female artists, because that's what I followed. A lot of the female bands and female artists, such as Bananarama, the Go-Go's, the Bangles, and all predominantly female type of singers and that kind of stuff. Heart, Quarter Flash, Pat Benatar, Stevie Nicks, that kind of stuff. Those are all very, very important influences, in 80s music for me. But I decided, okay, I want to try to do "Cruel Summer" from Bananarama, and it relatively simple, I think, in terms of keyboard and drumming. Guitar might be a little bit tricky, but it has a fairly simple bass line, and and a short 16-note riff in the middle, which is might be a little bit challenging, but if I broke it up, I think I can probably do something like that. So anyway, in addition to all that, of course, I'll be able to do all the harmonizing for all the vocals, which I don't proclaim myself to be a very good karaoke person, but it's something that's challenging. So I have a little bit to start, and what really got me excited is that when I actually sat down and tried to figure out how to do the marimbas at the very beginning, the most iconic part of the song, the beginning part of the song, it came together pretty easily. So that got me excited and started putting that together. So that's my first one I'm working on. The second song is the classic song "In the Heat of the Night" from Sandra. Okay, so I got this influence because this is sort of one of the songs that I sort of really grew up with and got affiliated with the Fobs. Okay, now again, if you follow my episodes, and I was talking about how I first moved on to Vancouver, started getting into anime. One of the people I got a lot of the anime from, and sort of the group that I got associated with, is the Fobs that came from Hong Kong, right? And they were listening to all this new Italiano disco and all this new music from England and Europe and Germany, of course. And so that's where I got a lot of my influences from people like Sandra, Modern Talking, and all those various different bands, all the Italian disco songs and that kind of stuff that came from the European dance scene. Okay, now of course this song was also covered in Chinese by Anita Mui. She has a Chinese Cantonese version of this particular song as well, so maybe I might be able to mix that in. But again, relatively cool that they have a keyboard section. Really, it's a simple one bass guitar on that one, so it's relatively simple. They use the octagon drums from Roland, so that's it had an interesting effect for that. So I think a lot of those tracks should be easy for her to do. And again, the thing that really sparked me off is when I had my son help me figure out the keyboard solo in this particular song, and I managed to map that out really quickly, and that sort of made me excited because realizing, hey, this is actually not as bad as I thought it was, and it's actually coming together pretty quickly. So again, just probably not that many difficult parts in this particular song, so I think I might be able to put this one together fairly quickly, aside from the different keyboarding parts that are in here. So I think that one might be also relatively on the simple side. Okay, and the third song and the last song, it's probably again probably my hardest song because it's of a shall we say medium difficulty, if they, as they say, is I plan to do "Burning in Love" by Honeymoon Suite. Okay, now I just had a recently trip to the Toronto area / Detroit, to follow my daughter's graduation from the University of Michigan. And so we went by Niagara Falls. I gathered to capture a lot of footage, near the falls and that kind of stuff. So so I managed to get a lot of video coverage, which is necessary because Honeymoon Suite is from Niagara Falls. And so using that, I know I got at least a good head start jump on the music video for this particular song, which is going to be good. Okay. Now, of course, the hardest part of the song is not going to be the drums. It's going to be all the guitars. Okay, there's a bass guitar track. There's going to be obviously a lead electrical guitar track, including 2 electrical guitar solos, which are going to be basically medium to slightly bit hard complexity. Maybe not as hard as Eddie Van Halen's Beat It or anything like that. It's not not a lot of harmonic picking going on there, but I mean, still, for a rock song, it's going to be a little difficult, that's for sure. I'll have to really break it down. And of course, there's an accompaniment electric guitar, which the lead singer uses, right? So, so by far that's going to be the hardest song that I'm going to work on, and probably one I have to do last. But again, I'm pretty excited. I got at least a good jumping head start on the vocal part anyway. So, and the footage for that. So, anyway, so that's what I'm going to be working on. And again, if I'm going to be trying to piece this video together, and then maybe in the future, maybe work on actually mixing it properly together. Again, I'll have to probably find someone who's better at using mixing software and that kind of stuff, because I'm basically mixing this as a video as opposed to mixing it as an audio. So I'm not using anything like Fruit Loops or something like that, or anything like that, to do any of this mixing or editing or composing together. But if someone has some expertise on that, then maybe I can commission you to do that. Contact me below if you have any, or have any ideas or suggestions on that, if you're willing to help on that. So anyway, so again, I'm still going to be doing some more episodes and that kind of stuff, and just updating you on this particular project, as well as, and I'll put that up when I get enough content and or enough of the video together. It might be a bit of a challenge. Thank you for being around for my for my explanation, and wish me luck. Anyway, I'll be making some more videos coming up with some more interesting content from archives. All right, so until next time, I will see you again.